Power. It shapes history, defines leaders, and influences every aspect of our lives. But what if I told you that power is not about strength? It's about strategy. Welcome to the 48 Laws of Power, the book that has been both revered and feared. In this first episode of our series, we'll uncover the foundations of power and influence, breaking down the first 12 laws that have been used by rulers, strategists, and business leaders for centuries. Stay with us, because by the end of this video you'll never look at power the same way again. Power is neither good nor bad, it's simply a tool. Let's start with the first 4 laws that lay the groundwork for anyone seeking influence. One of the biggest mistakes people make is making their boss, leader, or superior feel insecure. Throughout history, countless advisors and second-in-commands have fallen from grace simply because they appeared too competent. If your superior feels threatened by your skills, they will find a way to remove you. The key? Make those above you feel superior, while subtly advancing your own position. Take Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister of France under King Louis XIV. He was wealthy, charming, and extremely intelligent, too intelligent. When he threw an extravagant party to impress the king, Louis XIV felt overshadowed, and saw him as a rival. The result? Fouquet was thrown into prison for life. If he had made the king feel more in control, he might have kept his position. The lesson? Never let those in power feel insecure about your presence. People assume that friends are the safest allies, but history tells a different story. Friends can betray out of jealousy or self-interest, while former enemies, if converted, often become your most loyal supporters. Take the case of Michael III, a Byzantine emperor. He promoted his close friend Basil, giving him wealth and power, but as Basil grew stronger, he realized he no longer needed Michael, and had him assassinated. A trusted friend turned into the ultimate betrayer. On the other hand, Henry Kissinger, a master strategist, understood the power of winning over former adversaries. By working with people who once opposed him, he created stronger and more reliable alliances than he ever could with friends. The takeaway? Trust is a weapon. Learn to wield it wisely. If people know what you're planning, they can stop you. That's why masters of power always keep their true motives hidden. They let others underestimate them until it's too late. Consider the story of Napoleon Bonaparte. Before launching his most ambitious campaigns, he misled his enemies into thinking he was weak or unprepared. His opponents let their guard down, only to be crushed when he made his real move. Modern business leaders do this as well. Jeff Bezos downplayed Amazon's expansion plans for years, allowing the company to grow without alarming competitors, until it was too dominant to challenge. The lesson? Say little, act decisively, and keep people guessing. Silence is power. The more you talk, the more likely you are to reveal weaknesses. Great leaders know that mystery creates authority. J.P. Morgan, one of the most powerful bankers in history, rarely spoke in meetings. His brief but decisive words carried weight because people hanged on to every sentence. When someone speaks too much, their words lose value. Even in modern times, Steve Jobs was a master of minimal speech. His short, impactful presentations created a sense of mystery and prestige, making Apple's launches the most anticipated events in tech. The strategy? Speak less, observe more, and let your presence command respect. Now that we've covered the basics, let's move into how power is built, not just gained. These next laws are about control, perception, and leverage, the fundamental tools of every powerful figure in history. Your reputation is your most powerful asset. Once it's destroyed, rebuilding it is nearly impossible. Think about historical figures who carefully crafted their image. Winston Churchill, for example, created the persona of the fearless leader during World War II. He knew that reputation wasn't just about what you did, it was about what people believed. But reputation can also be a tool of destruction. Julius Caesar used propaganda to shape how the Roman people saw him. ensuring that any attack on his character was dismissed before it could damage him. Modern example? Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who have turned their public personas into shields, making their brands untouchable. The takeaway? Defend your reputation but also learn how to use it as a weapon. Power is about visibility. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if no one knows who you are, you don't exist. Masters of power manufacture attention through controversy, spectacle, or bold moves. Take P.T. Barnum, the legendary showman. He understood that even bad publicity was better than no publicity. His outrageous promotions made him famous, and his name is still remembered today. Fast forward to modern times, Donald Trump's political rise wasn't just about policies, but about dominating the media cycle. Whether you love or hate him, he understood that staying in the spotlight means staying in power. Want an example from the business world? Apple's product launches. They turn every new device into a spectacle, keeping people engaged and ensuring the brand stays relevant. The lesson? If you control attention, you control the narrative. Throughout history, the greatest figures were not always the ones who did the hard work, but the ones who knew how to claim credit. This isn't about laziness, it's about efficiency. Take Thomas Edison, a brilliant businessman, but many of his inventions were developed by his employees. He mastered the art of taking credit while letting others do the groundwork. Another example? Steve Jobs and Apple. He wasn't the engineer behind the iPhone, but his ability to brand and present ideas made him the face of the company. The lesson? Success isn't just about hard work, it's about knowing how to position yourself as indispensable. The moment you chase after people, you lose power. Instead, powerful figures position themselves as indispensable, making others seek them out. Consider the Rothschild banking dynasty. Instead of aggressively expanding, they created an aura of exclusivity, making kings and governments come to them for financial services. Another example? Luxury brands like Rolex or Ferrari, they don't beg for customers. They make their products scarce, which increases their value and demand. Powerful people create an environment where they become a necessity, not an option. That's the difference between chasing and attracting influence. With power comes responsibility and danger. These final laws in today's episode will show you how to secure your influence for the long term. Have you ever tried to prove a point in an argument only to realize that no one actually changed their mind? That's because true influence isn't about words, it's about actions. Powerful people don't argue, they demonstrate. One of history's greatest examples of this was Abraham Lincoln's leadership style. Instead of wasting time debating his opponents, he took decisive action, winning the trust of the public through real results. Modern example? Elon Musk and SpaceX. Rather than debate whether private space travel was possible, he simply built rockets and made it happen. Actions. Silence critics far better than words ever could. The takeaway? Stop arguing. Show results. Let your actions speak louder than words. Energy is contagious. Surround yourself with winners, not complainers. Negative energy spreads like a virus, and being around those who constantly fail or blame others can drag you down. Think about Napoleon Bonaparte. He carefully selected his inner circle, ensuring that he was always surrounded by ambitious, capable individuals. His downfall came when he started relying on weak or fearful generals. In business and life, the same rule applies. If you want to be successful, surround yourself with people who push you forward, not those who hold you back. If people can replace you, they will. The secret to long-term power is making yourself irreplaceable, so that even your rivals need you. Take Steve Jobs and Apple. Even after he was fired from his own company, Apple's failure to innovate led them to bring him back, proving that he was indispensable to the company's success. Another example, the Medici family in Renaissance Italy. They ensured that both politicians and artists depended on their wealth, making themselves an essential part of society's power structure. The strategy? Make people need you, and you will always have power. A well-placed act of honesty can make people let their guard down. The most powerful individuals mix truth with deception to gain trust. History is full of leaders who strategically used honesty to build credibility before making bold moves. Julius Caesar, for example, was known for showing generosity and humility before taking absolute power. Even in modern politics we see this tactic. Leaders gain trust by appearing transparent in small matters, only to use that trust for bigger gains later. The lesson? A small truth can make your biggest lies believable. These are just the first 12 laws of power, but we're just getting started. The real game of power is not just about influence, but manipulation, control, and domination. Which of these laws surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss part 2, where we dive into the darker, more manipulative strategies of power. Next episode, the psychology of power. How leaders manipulate and control.